Hello, my name is Jimmy and this is the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. And Nissan says it's more rugged and it pays tribute to the original Pathfinder. I don't know where it does that because I don't see it myself, but hey, marketing be marketing, right? Let's talk about this vehicle. It looks great, especially in this dual tone green that we have here. The front end is very distinctive Nissan. It's basically like a bigger Rogue. We got LED headlamps, a deep V-motion grille, and there's even some fog lights and a trim piece in the middle just to tell you it is a true SUV. There is a piece that pays a little bit of tribute to the original Pathfinder, and there's these slots right here. The original Pathfinder had that right on the front edge of the hood. So there's that. But I mean, it's just the littlest, tiniest things. Anyways, let's go to the side here. As this is the top platinum trim, we got these 20-inch wheels wrapped in Conti winter contacts, as it is middle of December right now. I do like the bold lines that they have, and it does, well, just make the vehicle look better because it is wider than before. The wheelbase and the length is basically the same, but it just looks more macho. This dual tone that you see here, it is optional, but it gives you the blacked out roof rails rather than the silver ones that you get normally. I do like this. Nissan put in locks on both the front and the rear doors, so you can unlock and lock the vehicle from the front or the rear. That's something not a lot of manufacturers do, and this, well, that just makes it easier to load kids and whoever else you need to load into the rear. Speaking of the rear, we get these slim LED tail lamps, a little bit of a roof spoiler on top, Pathfinder right across the center to tell you exactly what it is. It's, well, a good looking vehicle, honestly. And you got a tow hitch back here that can tow up to 6,000 pounds. That's something that not a lot of competitors in this segment can offer. In terms of storage, well, you can kick open the tailgate on the back, or there's a release right in the center to reveal 16.6 cubic feet of space behind the third row. What's nice is, unlike the previous Pathfinder, under the floor itself where there was a Bose subwoofer, it's now moved, so you get more space underneath. Fold the third row down 60-40 and you get 45 cubic feet of space. And if you fold the captain chairs down, you get 80.5 cubic feet. What's nice is, since the wheels are moved out, you can actually fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood or drywall in here. That's, well, like van practicality. One thing I did notice though, the lift over height, it is a little high. So for some, this might be a little bit uncomfortable. But let's get into that third row just to see how comfortable that is. Getting access to the third row isn't too difficult. There's a button I can press on the side here that releases the seat forward. But because my child seat is about 32 pounds, it can't lift it by itself. I have to push it a little bit. Once you're inside though, it's not bad. I mean, I got enough headroom, but once I fold this in, then yeah, I don't have a lot of room here, but I can move this seat up. As you can see, there's quite a bit of space still in front there. So if I move it forward, it wouldn't be as bad. I do have some USB ports on the side along with some fixed cup holders. And if I can reach the latch, I can move the seat back, well, back just a little bit more to be slightly more comfortable. To get out of here, there is a button that I can press and just moves that seat forward where I can easily escape. In terms of the second row, well, it's not bad. Headroom's okay as well because the sunroof actually ends before my head. It's not as big as I like, but because of that, I actually have a little bit more headroom here. Legroom is good if I have it all the way back, but if I slide it forward, well, even when it's all the way forward, it's still not bad, fully acceptable. I have some baby shades on the side. I have ventilation ports on the top, HVAC controls along with some USB ports. It's pretty good back here. And I have heated seats, which I absolutely love. Unfortunately, no ventilated seats like some of the Korean options. But this center console that we have in the middle, while we do have some cup holders and basically an empty box here, I actually can remove this. And it's super easy. You just take this front cover off, then it's just one pull and it comes right off. You can, leave this at home or wherever, So it makes it a little bit easier to gain access to the third row through the center. But, I mean, it's tight. You're much better off just pushing that seat forward wherever you can. If you're interested, I have a separate video linked up here where you can take a look at how child seats fit inside this vehicle. To summarize though, it definitely can fit car seats in here. Really, they're made for these captain seats. You can put child seats in the back, but only forward facing, and you have to move the center seat forward in order for, well, them to have legroom. So definitely something to consider if you're going to be putting kids within the Pathfinder. Anyways, let's move up to the front seats. All right, the front seats of the Pathfinder. Nissan does seats really well. They're zero gravity seats. They're actually quite comfortable. These being the top trim, they're heated, they're cooled. No massaging feature, unfortunately, but that's okay. They don't really have much in terms of lateral support. So if you're like really giving her, you're gonna like shift around the seat a little bit. But it's a Pathfinder, you're not going to be doing that. So absolutely fine. In front, the updated steering wheel, same one that we had in the Rogue. Looks good, works well, and I do like the flat bottom that's here as well. Looks great. Same thing with the instrument cluster, a full digital cluster on this top trim. Once again, looks good, works well. It's the same one that's in the Rogue, and it has the cool animation when you start it up, as well as when you change the mode. But not drive mode, unfortunately. When you change the different drive modes, it just, well, tells you the different drive modes. It doesn't change the overall cluster. I mean, something they could have done to make it a little bit cooler, but I think it's okay. There's also a heads-up display that tells me speed and the driver safety information, and that works pretty well. Same thing with the infotainment. It's a 9-inch unit with wireless CarPlay, but you have to plug it in for Android Auto. I don't have any problems with it. It's a pretty typical Nissan system, dedicated volume and tuning knob with some dedicated buttons below. There is a bunch of high gloss plastics on here, which some may not like, but to me, it's fine. I mean, I generally carry a microfiber with me so I can clean up wherever I need. So to me, it's not that big of a deal, but your mileage may absolutely vary. The climate control, super easy to use setup. 2 dedicated knobs for, well, the climate control on the driver's side, as well as one for the passenger, and you got the climate control for the rear. So it's tri-zone, and it's just simple. Like, all the buttons are there. There's really nothing that you really have to worry about. The only thing that's a little bit weird is the shifter. It's the same one that's found in the Nissan Rogue, and it has a little bit of a wiggle to it, but you can pull it down or push it up for the, well, reverse or drive, and there's a P button right on top for park. It's a little odd, but being the smaller shifter that it is, it clears a little bit more room for the cup holders on the right. And you get a little drive selector here as well. Overall, the cabin is nice. It has really good upscale materials on the top. Like, this is quite soft. Get some metallic bits and pieces around the air vents. It's a good place to be in. It's definitely not over style, but Nissan has definitely thought of this because there's cubbies on the side, on the bottom, in front of the passenger, and even underneath this tunnel here. So there's a lot of places for you to put things, which makes it a really good family vehicle. In any case, let's go for a drive because Nissan has changed one very, very important thing under the hood. So let's go. All right, on the road with the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. What you have to know is underneath the hood, it's a carryover engine. That 3.5 liter V6 is, well, exactly the same as previous years. It makes 284 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. So, sufficient amount of power, but what's made it to that, it's the biggest difference. Instead of the old CVT, which Nissan is kind of known for, and also known for having some reliability problems with, well, this is a 9-speed automatic. A 9-speed, well, it's good. It really is, because there's sufficient amount of gears to help you with just overall fuel efficiency. Because if we compare this to the previous one, it actually is slightly better in the city, but slightly worse on the highway. So, I mean, small trade-offs, right? But what you get is actual shift points. And you get something that's a little bit more engaging for the driver, which a lot of people actually like. Personally, I don't hate CVTs. I think there's a place for them. And like economy cars especially, I think a CVT is perfect because it gives you what you need, a smooth driving experience. At 9-speed, it's not like it's not smooth, but you definitely feel the gear shifts every now and then. Is that a bad thing? Completely up to you and how you drive the vehicle. But for me, I mean, I can go with either. Made it to the transmission is a new all-wheel drive system, at least here in Canada, because in Canada, every single Pathfinder is all-wheel drive, whereas in the US, you can get them in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So here in Canada, the all-wheel drive option is new, and there's a bunch of different drive modes to really control that all-wheel drive system. It acts faster, it's just a better system overall. I mean, I'm not taking this off-road, so I can't really tell you exactly how it feels then. But in a corner, hammering the throttle, your front still chirps just a little bit, then engages the rear, and you're off. It's a good system. Really, no complaints. And same thing with like all the driving safety stuff, because it has radar guided cruise control, it has lane keep assist, and all of that just works. I mean, Nissan's driver assistance programs has always worked, so it's no surprise that, I mean, it's fully functional here with absolutely no issues. The only thing I may have to complain about is just, well, the driving aspect of it, it's a little boring. I mean, steering is a little vague, the suspension is nice and smooth, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. Being a family vehicle, you want it to be smooth, you want it to be comfortable, and you want it to be easygoing. And that's what the Pathfinder is. It's easy. It's a minivan, except it's in a SUV body, so that way you can fool your friends to think, hey, I'm cool, or cooler. With this kind of macho looking exterior, it's a good looking vehicle outside. Overall, like, I absolutely love how this new Pathfinder looks. I really do. It's a great looking machine, much better than the very aged Honda Pilot. And the Highlander, well, the Highlander is just kind of bubbly in the wrong places. Some might say it looks like a Supra, it has the same shape, but I mean, I think this is more attractive than that. That's just in my eyes. However, is it more attractive than the Telluride or the Palisade? Well, that's hard to say. This, as tested, is 55,000 Canadian dollars. So it's not any less or more than its competitors. But what Nissan does have is a really good badge, and it has a history to prove itself as well. And that's really it. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Take care.